Secondly, I've worked very hard. It's very difficult to come before you and be critical, which I am doing, obviously. It's very hard to do that. But I've worked very hard to be polite and kind to you. Some of you have been rude, and that happened again tonight. I'm going to file a report on it, but I'm not going to go into detail right now. But that's uncalled for. Very quickly, the goals for me being here tonight are the promotion of nonviolence and peace, 2, to reduce the dropout rate, and the empowerment of females in our district. An activity under Goal 1 is to rename schools which are currently named for people of violence to people of peace. Stonewall Jackson, without a question, Stonewall School, without a question, is named after Stonewall Jackson. There's all kinds of documentation. You all are still saying and putting out papers naming a business, Burger King, saying that Stonewall School was named after the street. I've asked you before. I have the proof. I'll give it to you. You should give me the proof that would be the street. Stonewall Jackson was so cruel and violent and eccentric that he was and is today still called insane. He was anti-Mexican, he was anti-Catholic, and was promoted to mayor for the slaughter of little Mexican-American teenage boys known as los niños árabes and Chapultepec. Goal 2 would be addressed by renaming schools in honor of people who would be special role models to all Americans, but especially Mexican-Americans and females. There is a significance between having ideal role models and confidence building. Students who are more confident will learn more. They'll score higher on standardized tests, thus a lessening of the dropout rate. Goal 3 may well be the most important. Women have participated very little in decision-making in Harlandale since Harlandale began. That's the same all over the country, but it happens here in Harlandale too. I could give you a whole report just on that. Reportedly, Harlandale has a near 60% dropout rate. For God's sake, correct that if I'm making a mistake. That's uncalled for. That's impossible. Even if you didn't exist, you couldn't have a 60% dropout rate. 60% is the highest dropout rate in the whole state of Texas. 11th highest in the United States. We have Hidalgo high school here close by. Same as us, all Mexican-American, not a lot of money. They have 95% of their seniors are university ready. Their dropout rate is near 0 or they're close by. Please consider the following suggestions and recommendations. AT&T this week just appropriated $100 and something millions for dropouts in San Antonio. So I ask you, if you might have already done it, but I ask you to look into that and get some of that money, and I offer to work free for you as a consultant, which I have done for other districts, on that project. Ask AT&T and the city to form a panel of CEOs and educators to study the dropout problem in Harlandale. Half of these people ought to be Mexicanos, half of them ought to be females. Ask the mayor and the city council to take over the Harlandale School District. I already asked them. Take over Harlandale. It was done in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. had a dropout rate not quite as bad as ours. So the mayor and the city council took it over. The mayor and the city council here has been asked to take over Harlandale.
You have a minute.
Okay. Let me explain something. I've seen you allow Anglo-Americans speak for 10 or 15 minutes over their time limit without being notified of that. And that's it.
Now you have 45 seconds.
Sir?
Now you have 45 seconds.
I can't unmute.
45
So
seconds.
you still have 45.